10 months ago, right in line with this seam here, I buried a duck. Let's dig this duck. Is the chicken in there?
Oh, what is this?
G'day, I'm Mark from Self Sufficient Me, and in this video I'm going to share with you the many things you can bury in a raised garden bed. Let's get into it. Now I know what you're thinking, mother-in-law. Well, besides not being very nice, I've heard that joke before. So if you must mention what you'd like to bury in raised garden beds such as this, please write something different down in the comment section below. So what can be buried in a raised garden bed? Well, I've got some really good examples right here for you. These newly filled Birdie's raised garden beds were placed over the top of our old wooden sleeper beds. So instead of chucking out the rotten old wood, we put it back into the base. Wood and logs take a long time to break down and are excellent for creating the ancient technique of hugelkultur. Not just a really cool thing to say, but hugelkultur means mound culture in German. The way it can be done in these raised garden beds is just a bit of a modern spin. Larger animals such as poultry can be buried. Unfortunately, we had a hen drop off the perch the other day, so I buried her in the pet cemetery. In the garden bed. I'm looking for the dead chicken, and look at that. What is that? That is a dog dig. Obviously,
That's where I was putting
he's smelling the chicken in the garden bed and wanted a piece of it. Let's have a look and see if that dead chicken is actually in here and what it looks like. Right, yep, I'm glad you're doing it because you've got gloves on.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do.
Is the chicken in there?
Oh, what is this? That's mulch
Nah,
or
that's
whatever.
mulch. Maybe close to this side.
Yeah.
Was it a big chicken?
Oh, it's just a standard. There it is.
Oh.
There it is.
That's a chicken.
Oh yeah, there's his feet. So there's the chicken in there. We won't dig up anymore. So that's why there's a dig from this other side,
Oh, that smells bad.
trying to get into it. And then we'll cover it over with oranges to make it not smell.
Brilliant.
Smell the oranges.
There we go. In hindsight, I should have buried the chicken in the centre of the bed so it wouldn't encourage the dog to dig. 10 months ago, right in line with this seam here, I buried a duck in the garden bed, about probably a foot down right here. Normally I'd wait about 12 months before I dig up an animal. Actually, normally I wouldn't dig up an animal. But for science sake, let's dig this duck. Over the past 12 months, we've had lots of things growing in here. Ginger, asparagus, which has all died back now that it's winter. I just had to trim this all back because we had a pumpkin vine. This is actually exactly where the pumpkin was, well, one of the pumpkins, growing right through. So it's had a lot of plants sucking nutrients, and I wonder if anything has been taken out of that duck there. So right in line with this seam, let's go for it. Plenty of worms. There we go. Just like an archaeologist, I better start going a bit slower. Here's a bone. It's another bone. More bones. What's that? Is that a duck foot? Yeah, it looks like a duck foot. bone, bone. There's another bone. Just the bigger bones, leg bones and things. That's it. Just this handful of bones is all that's left. Actually, I'm a bit surprised. I thought I might find a bit more than that. Oh well. Well, there you go. That was pretty interesting. You can just see how well all those nutrients was used up. The disappearing duck. The other things you can bury in a garden bed, and this is not limited, but the things that I have, is cardboard, weeds, kitchen scraps, old eggs, pigeons, and practically anything really. Some people will say that if they buried these types of things in the garden, all that would happen is a wild animal like a bear would come along and dig it up. Personally, if I live somewhere like that, what I'd do is I'd have my veggie garden in a big enclosure, just like a tennis court fence all the way around, and possibly even have a mesh roof as well. I'm pretty serious about my homegrown veg. But seriously, why would you want to bury your things in a raised garden bed like this anyway? Well, here are 5 really good reasons. Number 1, to add fill. Premium soil is expensive, and if you are filling a large raised garden bed, or often more than one, that requires a lot of fill. Most veggies only need about 30 centimetres or 12 inches of medium to grow, so anything under that is a waste of good premium soil. Number 2, to add nutrients. Whenever you add organic matter to a garden bed, it eventually breaks down, and this turns into nutrients that enrich the soil and can be used as plant food. Even those things buried deep down, which brings me to number 3, encourage worms and other animals. Worms and animals such as mealybugs or bacteria break down buried organic matter. They eat it and then they move, aerating the soil, pooping and peeing, and transferring those nutrients all around the garden. Number 4 is to improve water and nutrient holding. Dead soil means a dead, dry, sandy garden bed where water just runs straight through and nutrients get washed away. Burying organic matter in the garden bed acts like a sponge to hold water and nutrients so the plants have longer and a better chance of accessing these elements. And number 5 is a sustainable way to reuse waste. Collectively, we humans throw out way too much organic waste into refuse tips. This waste could simply be turned back into plant and animal food in our own backyards to improve the environment around us, or even save costs on fertiliser, water and energy. Anyway, just getting back to these beds, the main fill used in these was actually wood chip or wood mulch. This stuff has been sitting in piles for months now and has gone through the early stages of decay, making it a perfect, easy to obtain and free medium or organic matter to add to a garden bed. And because it has broken down quite a bit, it won't heat up the beds like fresh mulch or fresh wood chip would. And it won't sink as quickly either. For wood chip and other types of softer plant-based fill, I will usually fill the bed space almost to the top, leaving about 30 centimetres of space to add the premium soil, compost and fertiliser. Over time, the beds will sink, and you can even see that this one that I did a couple of weeks ago earlier has already started to sink down a little bit, especially around the sides. You add more compost and soil over the years as that bed sinks, and then the garden bed develops into this rich quality biodiverse soil that your plants will love, and in turn will produce a ton of healthy veggies for you to eat. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you bury that thumb right up into the clouds and give this video a big thumbs up. Also, share it around because that helps my channel out heaps, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye for now. Cheers.